Guys, it's Amy with A to Z Stamping, and today I wanted to show you this really easy but fun technique called triple time stamping. And you can see that here on this card. You see how I have 3 layers, but everything flows together and is all connected. And this is actually a really easy technique, and I thought I'd show you guys how to do it. Okay, so what you want to do is so this is triple time, so that means I have 3 layers. So you need to figure out the sizes of each of your layers, and this is a standard A2 card. So this was 8.5 by 5.5, a standard. This is actually Blushing Bride cardstock. And so I want to go 1/4 inch smaller for the first one. So you need your 3 white pieces of, I'm using Whisper White cardstock. Let me grab those out here. Okay. And what you want to do is, so you figure out your first one. So it's just 1/4 inch smaller. So this one would be 5 1/4. It'd be 5 1/4 by 4. And then you figure out, you know, how wide. Really, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You could continue doing 1/4 inch borders. You could do a 1/2 inch border or 1 inch border. It doesn't really matter. But keep measuring down, and then give the piece you're going to mount it onto a 1/4 inch mounting piece, so that ultimately you're going to end up with 3 pieces of paper, 3 pieces of white cardstock or vanilla or whatever color you're using. I'm using white. Okay, and I'll tell you exactly the dimensions I did for this one so you kind of get an idea. So you take your 3 pieces, and I wrote my dimensions on the back. So my first one is 5 1/4 by 4. Then this middle one is 4.5 by 3 1/4. So it's 4.5 by 3 1/4. And then this one here, this little tiny one, is 3 1/4 by 2. Okay, and you'll want a scrap piece of paper, so I'm just using some of our grid paper here. Now the method I like to use, it is going to tear a little bit in the center, so if that's going to bother you, don't do this method, figure something else out. But this part's covered, so really it doesn't matter, and this is what I found has worked best for me. So I take my 3 cards, and I'm going to flip them over, and I'm going to take my adhesive and just put a tiny little, just the tiniest little amount of adhesive. And the grid paper works great for this because I can line it up perfectly on here on my grid sheet. Okay, and I'm going to glue that down. Then I'm going to take the next size, stick a little bit of glue, and get it centered as best as I can by eyeballing it. And I'm going to glue it right on here. So there's my second one. And then same thing, some glue and my third piece. And get them on there as best I can, like so. All right? All right, next thing I'm going to do is my stamping. So I'm going to be using the Falling Flowers stamp set. I like this one. It has lots of neat flowers that continue on. So I'm going to be using this Falling Flowers stamp set. And I'm going to be using my basic black ink. And then I'm going to be using Blushing Bride ink as well. I'm going to be doing a little bit of that. Let me squeeze my ink pad because I want some ink there and also my ink pad. Okay, so first I'm going to start with my sentiment. And actually my sentiment is from the Eastern Beauty stamp set. I'm doing the To Think of You is to Smile. So let me grab my block here. I'm going to start with my sentiment first, and I just want to get that right in the middle. You can do your sentiment wherever you feel like it, but again, I wanted mine right in the center. Let's see here. To think of you is to smile. Just so I have a focal point. Okay, there we go. You got to be careful because it does move a little. Let me grab my scrub here, actually, and I think I need to get that wet. I always wash my scrub, and so it's nice and dry and clean, so I need to get it re-wet. Okay, so that stamp can be put away. All right, so I'm going to start with this really big flowery one right here, and I'm going to ink that up. Let's see. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to start with this flower right here, I think. And I'm going to ink that up in the Blushing Bride. Okay. And I'm going to stamp one right here. So press. And I'm going to stamp one right here. Okay. Like so. Okay, clean that off. Now I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to ink this up in basic black. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this one. Which way do I want this to go? I think I'll go Do I want it like this? I think I'm going to go this way. And press. This is why we need the paper underneath, because see, it stamps off. Okay, and I'm going to do one right here. Okay, press. Alright, and then I'm going to take this little guy with the 3 little flowers coming off the end, and I think I'm going to go one right here and one right here. Okay, and then finally I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do this little tiny flower, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and let's see, let's do one more right here, 4. All right, does it look good? I think I like it. And then I need to finish up, so that's all I need with my basic black. And then I'm going to take my blender pen here. This is great. This is a great tool to have. And make sure it's clean. And I'm going to use this side of my ink pad now. So you just rub your blender pen in, and I'm going to just color in. Oops, don't want to move my paper. Put that back. I'm just going to color in each of these. All right. So make sure they're all colored in. Okay. This one, and I'm going to make these pink too. They're probably leaves, but I don't care. Okay. And I'm going to color these guys in all pink. Pink, pink, pink. Just to bring more of that blushing bride in. See how easy it is with the blender pen to add in whatever color you want. That's the nice thing about these. If you don't have all the markers, but this blender pen also gives kind of a watercolor wash effect that the markers can't give. Okay, I got one right there, one right there. Let's see this one. And I think I want to color in my flowers. So what I'm going to do for these is I'm going to, hold it in place. All right, so see how it's starting to fade? I'm going to have to get more color. You just add some more on there. And color it all in. Now you don't have to do this. You could totally just have used black ink on the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. Okay, got one more. Color this one in. But I just wanted to bring a little bit more of the blushing bride in so the color really pops on my card. Okay. All right, and I think that looks good. All right, did I get everything? Okay, this goes this way. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Now, the last thing, oh, I see one flower I missed right here. Okay. Okay, and then, all right, that looks good. Oh, so the blender pen, you just then run it on your paper until it runs clear, and that's good to go, and I can close this up. Okay, so now we can put our card together. So I'm going to pull these off, and this is the part I'm talking about. See how it rips a little in the back because that adhesive's nice and strong? That's okay because that's going to be covered up, so it doesn't really matter. All right. Okay, so let me grab my card base here, and again, I have a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold that over. Give it a good score. Okay, so I'm going to take my first one, give it some adhesive, and this is going on first. I just need to remember which way was the up and which way was the down. It went this way. Okay, so this is going on first, like so. Okay, then I do my first mat. So I matted, like I said, I matted each of these onto a piece of Blushing Bride cardstock, and I just did a 1/4 inch bigger. So this one here was 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So this piece is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And what you do is you eyeball this. So it's gonna, you see the blank space, it's gonna go over that just a tiny bit. So line it up, press, and then this one gets mounted right on top. This one goes this way. Okay. And then the last little set here. So this one was 3 1/4 by 2. So this one here is 3 1/2 by 2 1/4. And I'm just going to mount these. Okay, this one goes right here. And this one goes right here. All right, and there you go. To think of you is to smile. Isn't that so pretty? And it's so easy to do. And you can do this with any stamp set you own at all. And you can do this triple time stamping. It's really quite fun and easy to do. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Check me out at a2zstamping.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys. Bye.